Good afternoon, Youngstown. We are back for another episode of Belly Left Leadership. Remember, this podcast and the Belly Left Leadership mantra is based off of a simple football play, where we are making sure that we understand our role. We're preparing, and then executing at a high level, and everybody understanding their role and making sure that we can move in unison to get the job done. Keep it simple, but definitely execution and moving in the right direction. And so we relate that to leadership and everything that we do in our personal lives as well as our professional lives and here in the district. And remember, this is more than just about the Youngstown City School District. This is about our entire community. And so that's why I'm excited for today's guest. We're moving into the summer. We're moving into our scholars and families being engaged even more than they already are in our community and getting involved in activities that are going to be taking place that are important for our cultural expansion in our community as well as our knowledge base. And so I have with me Mr. Joseph Napier.
Yes, sir.
Who is a Youngstown native, and we have something in common. We are both the babies of Warren Avenue, yes. Warren Avenue crew, folks. That shout out to Warren Avenue crew.
All day.
And our ancestors, we are offspring of that crew, and on the south side of Youngstown. And so, Mr. Napier, I'm going to let you talk us through your journey. Tell us who you are, your background, and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So you hit it right on the head as far as like the inception. I spent most of my under the supervision of my grandmother on Warren Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
So just taking that in and having that experience and being under guidance of wisdom.
Absolutely.
A lot of people say I was, in regards to my age, I was well beyond my years and stuff of that nature.
Oh, so.
Yeah, all day long. So that's definitely where it all began. I actually went to school 1 year in the district at Sheridan Elementary.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and moms and had a different trajectory for me.
I understand.
So I ended up going to New Hope Academy under Dr. Emler and her staff, and was exposed to so much.
Mm-hmm.
From animals here and there. We had a science room, so that experience New Hope kids already know about. And then from there, I went to Youngstown Christian, where I competed in sports and football and basketball.
So you know a little bit about belly then.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Pulling guard, all that.
Yes,
so in regards to that, it was definitely an experience. I also did track.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'm done with all the main sports. So in senior year, let me try out track.
Try track.
And my dad was a graduate of South High.
Yes, sir.
1980, and he was on the track team.
Okay.
And doing hurdles and all that. 81 actually, but So I was like, let me pay some homage to Pops and try out the track meet.
I got you.
And track field. From there, I went on to go study at Kent State University.
Okay.
Studying criminal justice.
Okay, all right.
Yep, and left there in 2016. Came back home, had an internship with YNDC.
Mm-hmm.
Did some work around the Burn grant with their restorative justice and the Department of Justice findings and stuff of that nature. And ever since then, I've been a community person.
Okay.
Been entrenched with different organizations when it came to UMADOP, Serve.
Yeah.
So that's really where my love for the community was really fostered and brought about. So that's what led us here today.
All right. So it sounds like you are invested in our community and at a grassroots level. I think that's an appropriate term to use with some of the things I know that I see you into. So one of the things that I know that you are really passionate about and something that is you put a lot of work into in our city is the celebration of Juneteenth. And so tell us about Juneteenth and tell us about the work you're doing to keep this history alive.
Yeah, for sure. So in regards to my first exposure to Juneteenth was actually under Pastor Lewis Macklin. Having that experience on 505 Park Cliff
Mm-hmm.
really exposed my mindset as far as what our history was wrapped around, and some of the stories that go untold,
Mm-hmm.
and things of that nature. So I really, it was always something I found importance in, as far as its importance of celebrating it wherever you are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A lot of people look at Juneteenth as a Texas holiday or a Galveston holiday, but just looking at the history of the holiday and how it progressed from even 1980 becoming a state holiday in
Mm-hmm.
Texas
Mm-hmm.
to all the way now becoming a national holiday.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of work that has gone in as far as telling that story.
Absolutely.
So that's what it's all about, is telling stories.
All right. So I'm hoping and I'm assuming that most folks in our community know what Juneteenth is, and understanding that keeping it alive, and the awareness of the end of slavery, and the notification to the last folks in Texas, and then moving forward in our history. And shout out to Pastor Macklin for being a guiding light, as he always is, obviously for this young man, and actually for me personally as well. So shout out to Pastor Mac. But so tell me, you're doing some things in our community to keep this alive and
for sure.
celebrate every year. So talk to the community about what they can look forward to and be a part of this summer.
Yeah, so it's always about the mindset of always learning. As soon as I got to college, I fell in love with learning on a different level.
Right.
Because as an adult, you always hit that mindset of like, okay, I want to get to another stage of my life.
Yes,
But
sir.
you have to. The way you get there is through constant learning.
Yes, sir.
So a part of that is laying out a structure so people can take that journey to constantly learn. So we have a week-long celebration this year. We honor people in the community with our Juneteenth Sankofa Ball, people who are creating those spaces for continuous learning and creation of within the culture.
Right.
We give that nod to them. From there, we do a genealogy workshop. And
Okay.
genealogy meaning tracing back your roots, family trees, really taking it's a science to it, taking the bits and pieces and actually getting to dissect your family history.
Yes, sir.
Whether it's marriage licenses, whether it's jobs here or there, it's really putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So I think that's a unique journey that each family can partake in, not just an individual, but a
Right.
family can actually attend. That's going to be at the main library campus on Wick.
Okay.
So yeah, we got a plethora of different things in between as far as celebrating our culture in regards to just the different aspects, whether it's music, whether it's business, whether it's just having fun. We're doing a Juneteenth skate day.
I was just going to say, one of the things I definitely want you to talk about, I heard you're going to turn the park into a skating rink.
Yeah, so
talk to me about that.
So that's unique in a sense, because when you constantly learn, you constantly uncover different things. You're exposed to just greatness. So one of the things we wanted to do is pay homage to African Culture Weekend in regards to our history locally, as far as Black culture and things of that nature, and actually turning the amphitheater into Reed's Arena, if that makes sense. If everybody know what a cabaret is, it's actually a party. So we actually bringing that to life as far as the day of Juneteenth, June 19th this year.
Okay. So give them the dates, and then where can they find more information about all the events? Because like you said, it's a week long.
Yeah, for sure.
So every day there's some things to do. Young people, scholars, families, whole families. Give them the dates and where they can find more information.
So the key dates for family activity will be June 19th, which will be the Juneteenth Skate Day, and our festival, which will be June 22nd and June 23rd.
Okay.
You can find it on youngstownjuneteenth.com. We urge everybody to RSVP so we can have a better gauge of accommodating people.
Okay. All right. Let's folks definitely check out the website. I know he's all over social media as well, so make sure that you're checking those things out and being able to get involved this summer in those important events. So the work you're doing, I would categorize it as like I said, grassroots community involvement, community activism, which then, hopefully leads to change in our community and our society. So what advice would you give to our scholars about how they can advocate for social change?
I would say first look within, right?
Love that.
You can't begin to relate on a human level if you're not tapped into yourself. Self-awareness is the key thing as far as being a human being.
Mhm.
If we talking about just what the makeup is and philosophy is is to understand what it means to be human, and that starts with yourself all day long. If you
Absolutely.
can't look yourself in the mirror and say certain things, or hold yourself accountable, right? That's the first stepping stone if you want to be an advocate, is to be able to take your story and connect it with somebody else. So know your story and
Okay.
own it.
Okay.
Yep.
I love that. I love that. I tell people all the time, when this seat is hot sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time though, nobody can put more pressure on me than I put on myself.
There you
And so
go.
that's I'm hearing that from you as well.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
absolutely. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about leadership, and I do
Mhm.
consider you definitely a growing and budding leader
You're
in our
getting there,
community,
man.
man. I
You're getting
definitely
there.
do. I've seen you at board meetings and different events, and that means you're involved. You're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So how do you define leadership?
I think it's an opportunity to actually put yourself in multiple people's shoes,
Okay.
right? Having that knowledge and awareness where you're not barking out orders so much, but you know how to guide people along the way.
Okay.
We're always put in different circumstances of pressure and things of that nature. And we always look at the bottom line.
Mhm.
But, as a leader, your ability to relate and, actually have that engagement with other people can
Mhm.
get them to that point easier than you may know in some
Okay.
cases.
Okay.
So all day long, I would say just be in a position to put yourself in other people's shoes on a day in and day out basis. Having that knowledge where you know how to get them there. I always look at the mama mentality
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
and how Kobe, pushed his teammates, but he only got to that point when he could actually meet them where they are,
Absolutely.
right? So I think that's a big piece as far as leadership is having the ability to meet people where they are.
So you Kobe over LeBron.
I wouldn't even put it like that.
I'm sidetracking.
Yeah.
But no.
I love Kobe because he shares the birthday month of September as
Okay,
well. So
okay.
yeah.
All right. Great stuff, man. Great stuff.
Hmm.
All right. So, like I said, as you are growing in your leadership,
Hmm.
what words do you want to give to the community about just life in general, but or even about what's happening with Juneteenth or anything else that you're involved in? What do you want to say to the community?
Yeah, I would say, we take these opportunities to really connect with one another,
Mhm.
to build community, to build identity,
Okay.
right? So if we talk in reference to the city of Youngstown, it's always so much talk of what happened in the past, right?
Talk to me.
And I'm in the mindset of I respect the past all day long, but if we're rooted and we're committed to the things we want to see come to fruition,
Mhm.
we have to be a part of that piece. We
Okay.
can't we can't just come to the cookout with a to go plate. You know,
Got you, bro.
we got to sit down and do some work and roll up our sleeves, and whether it's I'm keep on going down the analogy, whether it's doing what grandma say
Mhm.
and take that trash out or clean this up, or fill up these water balloons. We It's all hands on deck. That's the mindset we have to have, and we just can't sit back and wait for things to happen. We have to have that mindset of meeting people where they are
Absolutely.
on both ends, whether you on the administrative side, whether you on the consumer side. It's a lot of things in Youngstown right now are we're at the ground floor level,
Mhm.
and we're building back up. So I say to every citizen out there, just be prepared to start the build, man, because I see a renaissance on the way, and I really feel like each and every person in Youngstown can have a piece of that impact.
So I'm gonna take it a step further. You're saying some things that are resonating with me,
Hmm.
and you've watched past episodes. We've had the mayor on, we've had
Hmm.
Guy Burney, who I know him, worked with.
Hmm.
We've had Chief Davis on. We've had teachers. We've had principals. We've had others that scholars, our valedictorians, and
Hmm.
a theme is that knowing our worth here in Youngstown, and understanding that it is going to take all of us
Yes.
to revamp and create that Youngstown excellence experience in our school district,
Right.
and then also within our community. And but the sentiment is a feeling of hope,
Hmm.
is a feeling that we are, like you said, at that ground level, and we're going to build,
Hmm.
and we are. Do you think we're there? Are we really there?
Wait, listen. There's always one person that told me, Mr. McNeil. He always said, "There's always a plan. It's either you're gonna make the plan or somebody gonna make it for you."
Okay. Okay.
And right now, I see a lot of people making plans for other people,
Right.
right? And that's just a piece of it, right? Um, so we're gonna be there regardless.
Right.
That's just how the world works, especially with technology, especially with the job market and how things are advancing in different ways.
Yeah.
I see a lot of emphasis on different areas of learning, whether it's STEM or technology, AI, or whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I think when we talk about that ground level, whether it's to app developers,
Yeah.
UI UX
Now
design,
you talking stuff I don't know nothing about. But go ahead.
it's just a multitude of different areas that that are budding right now.
Yes, sir.
And if you can take the opportunity to grasp it, it could change environments with a snap of a finger.
Okay.
It's true. The incubator is
Yeah.
downtown is looked at as one of the top in the country.
Yeah.
So we have to be aware of these things that when we talk about grassroots, it's right in our backyard.
Absolutely.
So it's just the opportunity to grasp it is here, and we have to take advantage of it.
So I asked that question because it was a rhetorical question, really, because I know you believe it and I believe it. And I just need our community to really know it and understand and believe it. You referenced that our mantra in the district is honoring the past but embracing the future. There's so much greatness in the history of the city of Youngstown and even in the school district. And we have to honor that. But we also have to be real about the deficiencies that we have or and have had in the reality of what has happened in our community in terms of, I know I'm older than you, but the steel mills crashed when I was 3. And I still hear a lot of people saying, well, this and it used to be that. Well, it did. And I caught the tail end of that growing up. But you just referenced, you talked about AI and some other alphabet numbers and letters that I don't know. But the future is here. And we have to embrace and prepare our kids for their future, not our past. We can't keep talking about what used to be. We got to talk about what is now and what the future will be. Recognizing and building off of the things that were great in the past.
Right.
But people like yourself and people in our community pulling together to really move forward in the future. I'm excited about what Youngstown can be and will be.
Right.
And I just know that we all have to work together. And that's why I want to bring leaders together, not just within our school district.
Right.
I don't believe that our work is just our work.
Right.
Our work is community work.
For sure.
And so that's why we reach out and we engage folks like yourself.
All day long.
Yes,
all day long.
Any other last words before we say bye to the people?
Yeah, so there's one piece you just added with the steel mills.
Yeah.
Shoot. I had a long, in-depth conversation with my grandfather.
I'm sure.
And one of the things he brought up was the dissent decree and how it impacted and gave people a new reality in regards to the plight of African Americans.
Yeah.
Even when we talk about history, knowing your history, that's why, knowing your history is so important, because my grandfather worked so hard in different, spaces and working conditions that we're not privy to on a day-to-day basis. But if you have the opportunity to do better than your ancestors or the people that have come before you, you really should embrace it, because they've done so much to kind of lay the foundation and be a stepping stone for us that we cannot fumble that.
Absolutely.
I had to bring it back to football.
Had to bring it back to the belly left, and I love it. But
we can't fumble that opportunity, man. So I would say to all the youth out there that the opportunity is real. Do not take it for granted. If you're sitting in a desk or you sitting next to a peer, just know that you're destined to be here, wherever you are, whether you're South Side, North Side, Youngstown, West Side, East Side. Just take the opportunity and run with it, because we got too many stories.
Absolutely, man. We could probably go on. We could probably do about 3-4 hours, a couple different
success stories is here
in
Youngstown. So keep making more youth. So
listen, he already dropped the mic. Brought it back home to the belly left. but I would say definitely the play's been run for us. The blueprint has been there. The playbook is there. We now have been elevated. We got a little advanced equipment now that maybe our ancestors didn't have. Now it's our job to keep running it until they stop it. We'll see you next time, Youngstown.
This podcast is the property of Showfit Broadcasting and Youngstown City Schools. Showfit audio and video broadcasting students recorded and produced this episode.